back into the lesson. Today we're going to be looking at a new topic called Civil War. What I'd like you to do is play the video and stop it if you need to do each task as we go through it. If you don't want to do that, you can just listen to the video first and then complete the tasks, or you can just do the tasks using the PowerPoint and the worksheet. You don't have to listen to this, okay? But if you find this helpful, then please do let me know and I can make them in future. So first of all, there's an image on the screen and I'd like you to study it and have a look, have a little think about it first of all. Then I'd like you to note down or type out some ideas of what you think is happening. So what is going on, okay? When do you think this is happening? So maybe have, a few clues could be that, think about what we've just been studying. And who is involved here? Where is it happening? So have a look at the buildings. Can you recognise any of them? And why do you think this is happening to this person? Okay, so let's have a look at the answers. So what is happening? It's something called regicide, which is the killing of a king when it's the 30th of January 1649. Okay, so who is being executed? That is Charles I. He's getting his head chopped off on that block. He is the son of James I, who we've looked at already with the gunpowder plot. So that king's son. Where it's Whitehall, that's like the Houses of Parliament basically. You might recognise some of the buildings. And why? Why is a huge answer, which is what we're going to investigate in the next couple of lessons. So just have a look at this image also. This is another picture of the execution. This looks a little bit different because different artists paint things or draw things differently. You can see his head chopped off there and all the blood pouring out, people fainting, a huge crowd. It's a different viewpoint of what might have happened. Okay, so next one, what I'd like you to do is the title is "Why Did Parliament and the King Fall Out?" Because what happens is there's a massive civil war in this country. So we're not fighting a different country like Britain fighting France or Britain fighting Germany. A civil war means one country with a war happening in it. So two sides within the country having a big fight basically, with lots of different battles up and down all over the place for a few years from 1642 and it finishes in 1649. It's actually a battle that happened really close to Chester, to our school, Christleton actually, called Rowton, okay, which we'll do some research on later. So, Parliament versus King. So they both did things to annoy each other and it ended up in a civil war breaking out. So, you have got a card sort like this. You can use the one off the PowerPoint you can copy and paste it, or you can use the one on the Google Doc and you can copy and paste that over to your own. If you're struggling to do that, just go to the one in the Google Doc and go to File, go to Make a Copy, and then you'll have your own version of it that you can edit on it, okay? Because you're going to do some work on this card sort. So, what I'd like you to do is you're going to highlight in two different colours. So things that annoyed Parliament could be, for example, in green, and things that annoyed Charles could be in red. So, for example, if Charles marries a Catholic princess, Henrietta Maria, it's going to annoy Parliament, okay? Really annoy them because Charles was Catholic and Parliament was Protestant, okay? So they're going to be really annoyed by Charles doing that, okay? If Charles is asking for money but Parliament won't give him any money, that is going to really annoy Charles. So maybe that would be the one thing that annoyed Charles. Okay, so they keep doing things to annoy each other, and Charles thinks he should be ruling on his own. Parliament say, no, you should be ruling with a parliament to make proper decisions. Okay, so read through each one, highlight which one you think it is in the two different colours. Do your best with that. Once you've done that, you're going to go on to the next task, which is basically in each box you're going to write whether the argument or the point was to do with economic, which is to do with money. So if Charles wants money, for example, Parliament won't give him money, that'll be economic. Things to do with power is political. So you'll write down or type out political underneath that one that applies to it. So, for example, if Charles believes he should rule a country all on his own, that's to do with him wanting more power. So you'd write down political. Things to do with religion, Charles is Catholic, Parliament is Protestant. They have a big fallout over that as well. So anything to do with Protestant or Catholic is religious. So in each box, underneath each point, you write down either economic, political or religious. Okay, that's your next task. Your task following that says explain in your own words why Parliament and the King fell out. 1 PE paragraph. So you don't want to write down every single thing. So instead, choose the most significant point that you think, oh yeah, that really made them fall out with each other. So you could use that to say Parliament and the King fell out because, state what it is your evidence is, and then explain why that would be such a problem between the two. Okay, so your challenge for that is say which one was the most important reason, explain the significance and say why it was more important than the other reasons. Okay, so just do your best on that one. And if you can extend it by saying the most important reason as well. Okay, next, what crimes do you think they charge King Charles with in order to execute him? Because between this breakout of civil war and the end of it, there's been lots of different battles, lots of people have died, and look back at your card sort and think which one of those would Parliament be annoyed at and how would they say this is a crime. So think about what crimes you have today and how what he did was wrong. Okay, so basically that's the end of the lesson. So do what you can with that. Various different tasks. If you've got any questions, just pop them onto the Google Classroom or email me. Once you've finished your work, can you please share it with your classroom teacher? Do not post it on the stream on the Google Classrooms because everybody else will see your work. So you either share it with myself or Mr. Rose or Miss Brown, Miss Allen, whoever has you for Year 7 history normally, so they can see what work you've done. Okay, thank you Year 7 and well done.